All right. So, welcome everyone. My name is Kelly, and I also use my nickname Raji. So, people are always like, what do I call you? Blah, blah, blah. Call me Kelly, call me Raji. And this is Dr. Stacy Newtiel. She's my dear friend and partner along the way. Stacy, say hi.
Hey, everybody.
And
Thanks for being here.
yeah, totally. So, tonight we are going to talk about this super cool energy frequency device called Healy. So right here, if you haven't seen it in person. And this just launched in the US May 1st. So it's not a new technology. What is new is that it's all packed into this super compact wearable device that makes it so user friendly for everybody from practitioners to doctors to energy workers to just people, to just everybody, for families. And that was really Healy's mission, was to make this just accessible for everybody to have in their hands, to just tap everybody into total health, well-being, and revolutionize the way that we take care of ourselves and bring the body into homeostasis. So that said, Stacy, tell us, like, what excites you about being like a physical therapist and bringing this to the world? Tell us just a little bit.
Sure. So I am obviously she just outed me. I'm a physical therapist in this reality. So I do work with bodies a lot, and I do a lot of also holistic based healing, like energy work, craniosacral therapy. Um, and for me, this is an awesome little device to bridge the two together, because sometimes there's people who aren't so open to the more energetic or like holistic based side of things. And I'm excited to be able to offer this to clients and patients, just to kind of bridge that gap between the medical field and the more holistic based energy based practices. So yeah, super exciting. And I can't wait.
Yeah, yeah, so cool. Thanks. And I had a body work and I was a massage therapist for 20 years. And then a couple of years ago, I got really involved in another energy type work called Access Consciousness, which I totally love. And so I see clients in a hands-on way. And so how this dropped into my world was, when I wasn't seeing clients recently, I was looking for a way to just still play with energy with people. And I heard about Healy and I was like, oh, an energy frequency device? That sounds great. I can't wait to use it with clients. And what I came to discover was, even if I never, even if I never saw one client with it, the fact that I can run programs for my family, for myself, for my child, for my mother, for my sisters, for the planet, for everything, just became such a huge part of my life in such a very small amount of time. It was almost like I heard about it and I said, oh, wow, yes, that. And then it just almost started working. So kind of whole idea that everything is energy and everything is made up of frequencies really kind of came through and just sparked a whole different bunch of events and just a whole new playground to play in. So you are invited to this whole conversation. So the invitation is really for you to just sit back and relax and just see within the information what pops for you. So what about is there anything you want to say about energy frequencies in and of themselves before we get into like the Healy specific, Stace?
Um, well, yeah, for me, like the frequencies, it's been interesting. So I do a lot of like I said, a lot of energy work. So I'm pretty tapped into like a lot of the energies already, as like I think a lot of you are on here because I recognize a lot of the faces on here. But for me, what has kind of started to happen just by saying yes to the Healy is I have more awareness now of like different frequencies. So it's just a nice way to tap into some of the frequencies that I didn't necessarily like know were out there. The energies, the frequencies, and it's just also a nice subtle way to like, you know, promote some well-being to the body as well. So it's been really fun for me to have the awareness and just be aware of all those things. And with that being said, even if you're not like somebody who does energy work, who is into even any of that, you don't need to be. This is actually like on a quantum level. So there is a scientific basis behind all this. It's not just like, you know, energy and that all that. There actually is some science behind what's happening and the frequencies. And you don't have to be tapped into like the energy work or anything like that to understand it. Well, to have the effects of it and to be able to use it and to actually even feel the benefits of it yourself. So, yeah.
Exactly. And that's a great jumping off point. I do want to say that for the intent of this Zoom, I'm not a quantum physicist, and Stacy's a doctor, not a physicist. So for us here, we're just sharing as very happy people who are loving it. So we won't get into a whole lot about the how does this work, because people can go to that like trying to figure it out, how does it work. We're going to give you an experience, and we can direct you to, you know, Google if you want to find out like how frequencies work. But again, like I said before, it's not like a new technology. It's been known for, you know, hundreds of years that certain frequencies have a certain effect on the body, on the brain, on the being, on the electromagnetic field. And so this is a science that's been so fine tuned, and that each in the Healy, it runs up to 300,000 different frequencies, and each of those frequencies has a different effect on the cells and on the body and on your state of being. So that's about as far as we'll get into the science, but I love to show a little quick presentation just for you guys to get a sense of this is a company and it is a product that has been FDA approved. So just giving a visual to go along with what we're talking about I feel like it's a great idea. So it's not just, you know, us just being like, yeah, blah blah blah, this thing. So we'll give it a little clout. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay, can you guys all see that? You see a picture of the Healy? Okay, cool.
Yep.
All right, so this is Healy, and as you can see, I love that they say frequencies for your life, health, well-being, balance. So they do coin this as a wearable medical device. And I'm going to scroll past that. It's a European country. And like I said, we just launched in the US. So what you just saw was not the US disclaimer. So I'm just going to scroll over it. And I will tell you that the disclaimer for the US, as far as FDA clearance, this is a frequency device cleared for pain associated with arthritis and overexertion of muscles. It says chronic or acute. And then it goes on to say that there are also non-scientific benefits of the Healy. And I mean, how just incredible is that something of this nature has been cleared for pain? That just excites me very much. So this just gives a little background of the two scientists that are the leading figures behind the Healy, and they are brilliant. And this is not their first technology with energy frequency devices. They have a parent company that's been around for 15 years, and it's a much larger device. So maybe like the size of a computer, that was pretty much in the hands of practitioners and doctors, and people went to them for sessions or had remote sessions. And so seeing the success with that, they finally were able to get that technology into this very small, tiny device. So there isn't really anything else on the market like this. And even though you see the cell phone on this page, it is powered by an app on your phone, but the phone just delivers the frequency to the Healy. So the quantum sensor, that's what makes the frequencies come to you. That just programs, the cell phone app programs the Healy, but it's not like the phone is doing the magic, because you're actually doing the magic by receiving it. So those are the two scientists. And this just does give a little nice, little tiny taste of the science. And it's just talking about how healthy cells are one of the greatest facets of health and well-being, and that there are trillions and trillions of them. And every cell, just like any human organism, has a whole metabolism and a whole like life in and of itself. So it's saying that the frequency is meant to regulate the voltage potential in the cells. And so here's just a little slide that is indicating all of that. So again, I'm just gonna kind of scroll through because it's European, but it's talking about as age and degeneration and stress occur, that the voltage or the velocity of the cells shrink, and that can be responsible for unwanted things like pain and imbalance. Feel free to interrupt anytime, Stacy.
I know, you're doing great. I'm just listening. You got it.
So there are 4 models of the Healy. The one that I'm going to demonstrate tonight is the resonance. And what everybody loves about the resonance and just can't get enough of is the fact that it has an analyzing capacity. So it is specifically designed to read your bioresonance field and then deliver, based on that scan, the precise programs for you. So the other ones run programs, and it's more a pick and choose what you think you need. And Stacy, I'm sure you work with this all the time, is that how often is it not really what you think it is?
Right. Yeah. So it's the reason I love the analysis is because it does run the scan, and it will recommend the frequencies that your body actually requires at that point in time. Because like when you're working with bodies, you realize, oh, well, I don't know, it could be like my neck hurts, but the problem is actually coming from somewhere else. So it was funny because Raji and I were together one day and we were playing with the Healy, and I was like, she's like, hey, do you want to run it on your eyes? Because my eyes have been a little bit weird lately. And I was like, sure. And then I was like, you know what? Let's wait and see what it says. So we ran an analysis, and it came up as like mental clarity, learning, and a couple of other frequencies or programs it was recommending. But that's just a good example to show you like it's not necessarily what you think it is. So it takes the guesswork out of it, and it makes it, you know, easier for you to just receive what you need to receive in that moment. So yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Right, right. So it's like once like the brain fog and all
Yeah.
like the stuff, it was like you could see more clearly.
Yes, and it actually did help
Yeah,
me. Yeah, I actually could see more clearly after she ran it for me. So that was really fun.
you're
That was
right.
awesome.
Yes. So I will warn you guys that having a Healy is like having a pool. So they've been so busy. Healy did 9 million in sales in their first 9 weeks. So it's just exploding. So there is a good like 4 to 6 weeks on shipping. So while everybody's waiting for their Heelys, they all come to my house because I have the
Yep.
so maybe I'll have a pool party. So beware. The other really cool feature of the resonance is that it's the only one that can do a remote scanning. I mean, a remote session. So you could be anywhere in the world and send a session, send some frequencies to whoever you're working with, be it family or clients. And this is one of the most used features in my house because my 17-year-old, he doesn't want to hang out and play Healy games with me. And so I asked for his permission just to run programs on his behalf. And he is so thrilled that I am. And he's like, wow, just keep doing whatever you're doing because it's totally clearing up his skin. So that's been a great blessing. But I run programs on him in the morning and night, and he doesn't have to know a thing about it. So it's very um, it's just been such a gift. And again, so the resonance, that's one of its main features. And then it also has an aura analysis. So that's just super fun. So it's just measuring each chakra and um, and then sending energy back to boost and optimize all of the chakras and get the aura in balance. And that is just so fun to play with. And then here's just a little bit about some of the programs that it can run. So I, of course, understand that these words won't, like the gold cycles, they're a little bit self-explanatory. So these are like the trademarked frequencies of the Healy, which were developed by Nuno Nina, and they're called the gold cycles. And those are all around balance, and they are filled with thousands and thousands of frequencies within each program. And those programs are the pure one, that's great for detox. The care gives a lot of like just cellular support, energy, um, boosts your literally energy, and relax, self-explanatory. And the release is great for pain, they say. And some of the other programs, so the resonance comes with all of these pages of programs. So it covers areas like pain and psyche, so pain and mental balance, sleep support. The learning is amazing. Those are, I think that's what we probably ran on you, Stacy, when we did
Yeah.
the like mental clarity and focus. So great for brain fog. And I know a lot of people who, just deal with that brain fog, and I did that this morning and I was like, wow, that is spectacular. The fitness one helps you stay, on top of your healthy game and fit. Some of the programs within that are weight and circulation and strength and for performance. The job page, that's filled with programs related to stress and either like acute right now stress or long-term systemic stress, exhaustion, fatigue. And even though, even though it's called job, it doesn't necessarily mean it's related to your job. And lots of brain function capacities too. The beauty and skin programs, I love them. And they have programs that relate to hair and nails, which relate to collagen, hyaluronic acid. There's aging programs, skin elasticity, just goes on and on. It can run all of the meridians and chakras. And then under the bioenergetic balances are things like nerves, tonsils, lungs, head, sciatica, immune system. If you have a cold, there's a cold program. And then the chakras. And the protection programs, those are great for EMF and like just environmental factors. I'm just going to skim a little bit more. And then Healy, it's a social selling model. So this is how it's shared. It's shared by just telling your friends about it. Just like this. All right, so that's like a quick little overview of the Healy and what it can do. And maybe we'll just pause for a minute to see if there are any questions before we get started on the group session, which will be a demo. So if there are questions around maybe the specifics, it might be answered in the demonstration.
Yay, demo time.
No main questions. Can anybody?
Oh, main question. Oh, I see Sue. Sue has her hand up. Sue, can you unmute her quickly? Sue.
They should be able to unmute themselves.
I'm just saying, pick me, that's all.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm just looking forward to getting mine.
Oh, cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, nice. I'm looking forward to you getting it too. All right. Well, if there's no burning questions, I'm going to share my screen for my phone. And I always forget to like undo the settings. So, you know.
Question in the chat. Can I share it with you?
Oh, sure.
Nicole says her audio won't be good. So she's asking her question here. What about chronic and acute illness? Are there programs for that?
We can't make any claims about that. So with the information given about what we said for all of the programs, and that some relate to pain, you can determine what that might mean for you, but we can't say that it would help with your chronic illness. Okay, so just give me 1 second. I'm going to power up my phone to share with you. Oh, so I was just saying, ignore any texts that might come through on my phone. I never know who's going to text me what. All right, can you guys see the phone app?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Yay, this is so fun. Okay, so I'm going to add a new client, and the new client is going to be this group. And we'll also include that anybody that might be watching the recording in the future. So when I pull this up, you can see that a client can include not only an individual, but an animal, a plant, an organization, like a team, a business, your family, a building, a vehicle, a group, or something else. So the uses are endless, and people are really creative in, you know, what they're including. Like everything is energy. So that's why nothing's excluded from being a candidate to receive from these frequencies. And we always like to just drop in people's worlds too, just to be clear that as much as we're working with a device and technology, that you're like asking and then receiving for the frequencies to enter your life. So it's not like the Healy is the well, you know, kind of, but it's not the source. It's not the source of your well-being. You are a total collaborator with that. Okay, so let's add this group tonight as our client. And so let's say this is, what's tonight? Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Okay. Let's say this is like hump day play. And if you're
So does that mean you'll run you will run this for us every hump day, which is every Wednesday?
So when you're adding a client, you could add more specific information as much as was comfortable. This just identifies us and puts out our request to locate us all as a collective into the quantum field. So I'm going to add us. And what I want to do is I'm going to record the vibration. So you guys are getting the live demo. So I'm going to hit record vibration. It's instructing me to hold the Healy in my right hand. So I'm going to do that on all of our behalf. So it's going to record us all. And then we want to perform an analysis. So as you can see, it's very user-friendly and almost like playful. You know, you're just like, oh, what's this do? What's this do? So let's go. I'm going to go into the database. And the question that the Healy poses is, with what do I have the greatest resonance? So you are asking for whatever program would contribute to you to reveal itself. So I'm going to continue with the database. And then for us tonight, for the group session, I'm going to choose the chakras, because that's kind of basic. We don't need to get into like pain and, you know, things like that for this session. So I'm going to go into the analysis again, and I'm just going to use it's asking for my finger. This has nothing to do with reading a fingerprint. It's about setting the intention and getting us all together and present with the analysis. And when I say getting present, I don't mean like you have to go and meditate and, you know, do anything. Just, you know, it's just like that pause. Yep, where'd you go? Okay, so the programs that come up, the chakras that come up are sacral chakra, crown chakra, root, third eye, and solar plexus. That's funny. This is super similar to, oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I'm going to scan this again.
Yeah, it kicked out for some reason, I think.
Hump
Hump day play.
Hump day play. I'm going to do this again. It might come out different.
cool.
So sacral chakra, third eye, crown, root, and solar plexus. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, so this is going to take a whole collection of frequencies and combine them all together in a whole little concoction just for us. So I'm going to hit the actions button, and then I'm just going to hit vibrate, which means that these frequencies will be delivered right to you. So you can just sit back, relax, and just enjoy and receive the vibrations. So I'm going to set it for 3 minutes, which it's strange because it actually feels like a long time. But I love just letting people have a good chunk of, even though it's only 3 minutes, it really feels, well, you can tell me what it feels, but here we go. So just relax your reality and your world and receive this. All right, beautiful people. How is that for everybody? Would anybody like to share anything about that?
It's funny, I was feeling it earlier. So we did one earlier and I felt really relaxed after it. And this time I actually felt it all like in my hands. So yeah, that was kind of cool to feel the difference.
Somebody else said they felt the vibrations in their hands too.
It's funny. Yeah.
So amazing. More, please. I relaxed
Oh,
a lot. Yeah. So it's really crazy when you have that experience, and if you didn't feel anything, that in no way means that the frequencies aren't working for you. It could just, some people are more sensitive, some people interpret it in different ways. So it there's no right or wrong as far as feeling it or not feeling it. But I feel it. It just feels like vibration and just like aliveness almost, and not in like a spazzy energy way, but just in like a just like aliveness, like every cell just kind of comes online. So I love it. Oh, I love,
um,
thank you for your comments. I love hearing like, yes, like, oh, somebody said I could hear pulses too. Cool.
so the PDF, I don't think, Denise, I don't think Raji had seen that probably in time to send it, but the PDF is sendable. You can send that to people. I think.
You know, I have it actually it saves the, um, it saves what came up. And so I think I should be able to post it in the group. If it's easy to post, I'll post it. And if it's like, you know, not easy, you won't see it.
It's easy to send it though to somebody like
Yes.
through text, and yeah. Just
Yeah.
not sure how to. We haven't ever posted it somewhere, so.
Right. And I'm sure like you could save the PDF to
Yeah.
the computer and, you know. All right. What else? We could we could say maybe like, um, if you're, so the invitation, I guess, is that you can just enjoy this group session and enjoy the yummy energy and the conversation. You could learn more about being a customer, or you could learn more about being a member. And so the basic differences between those are, you know, you're like, wow, that sounds really cool. I'd like one of those. You can just be a customer and have one for yourself and your family or your clients. Or you could, if you think it's really cool and you're always talking to people, um, I I chose to be a member and share it with my friends, and who then said, wow, that sounds fun. And then you can earn a commission. So we're not going to get into the whole nitty gritty of that part of it unless there's a, you know, big burning question that you have. Um, but just kind of planting that as an invitation.
Um, I was gonna just pause, but there's a couple questions that are kind of related to the PDF and
Okay.
what the percent, and also what the percentage means.
Oh, okay.
So what does the PDF actually contain?
Yep, so the PDF is a snapshot of the analysis. So in the aura analysis, it does go into a description of, it talks about each chakra and where that's vibrating. And the aura analysis is the most in-depth, and it gives like, oh, you know, if your root chakra's low, it could be related to blah 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 blah. So it goes down. As far as the other programs, like all of the other ones, it just gives the top resonances. And so that's where the percentages come in, is like if something comes up at like 70%, then you have a 70% resonance with receiving those vibrations. So it's like the higher the percentage, the more your body's requiring or desiring that specific frequency. And then, you know, if it's down towards like 20%, your body is just kind of like, meh. And it doesn't mean it's not helpful, it's just not at the top of the priority list. So that PDF encapsulates that information. So when I'm doing remote sessions with people, I will scan and then I'll send them that PDF and then let them know, and then I'll run the frequencies. But it's just cool for them to have some sort of touch point that they're like, oh, that came up today. Oh, cool, these were run. So it's a nice documentation, but not super specific as far as, if the, job thing came up and it was systemic stress. It's not going to go into detail about that.
So the other thing that I think is kind of fun about it too is that it's like real time. So it'll deliver the frequencies to you as you require them. And once your body is at a level where it doesn't require it anymore, it stops sending that frequency. And the other cool thing is, so just so you get an idea, it's not like, hey, these frequencies and it's all the same for everybody, because it's not. The device actually, the programs could be, the same program might come up for, say, like Raji and I, but different frequencies will be delivered within that program. So it's not all the same for just like every program. It's actually, that's the part that's where it's like scanning your body and your energy field. So that's kind of, I love that about it. I think that's really neat.
Right. And I see your question about how long do you decide to run the frequencies? So I just like ask, I just am like, hey body, like how long do you want to run this for? I do that. And sometimes it's very practical of like, okay, I have a certain amount of time that I want to do it for. And so either way, there's no big right or wrong. Like like for my son, I'll do a lot of 26-minute programs for him. So I'll kind of queue it up and get it going and know it's going to run for that. And then it's fun to do just little bursts too. So everybody kind of plays with it and see what works best for their own integration too. But even though it does run for 5 hours, like I think that's a choice. More time does not always mean more results or more data. So they do recommend to take it slow, and it seems like everybody does go a little crazy at first.
Yeah,
I did.
I know, you get so excited, you just want to use it all the time. So did we even mention, we might have, I was probably reading messages, but did we mention that there's actually electrodes and that it does hook up to the wrist electrodes?
Tell us about that part.
So it's not just, the option to vibrate is not the only option. So you actually can hook it up to electrodes. So it comes with wrist electrodes, which I think Amanda actually just has on. If you guys can see Amanda, she's got her hand held up like this with the Healy and the picture, and you can see the electrode on it, and that's one of the wrist electrodes. Yeah, so you can opt to use the electrodes if you want to be hooked up to it, and or it also comes with the little pads. So the pads can be used in more specific areas. So if something was going on, say with like your shoulder or like your knee, you could use it in a specific area. So those are also other options. You don't just have to vibrate it, but it's kind of nice to have that option to vibrate it and not be hooked up if you want to do that too. So there's different options.
Cool.
So yeah, I was just gonna say, go ahead, Raji. I think you were gonna go where I was gonna go.
Okay, you're gonna wrap it up?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
We're on it.
Yeah, so thank you all so much. I loved just that few minutes where we were all just together, and it was just a beautiful quiet, and how, I don't know, it was just really just rare and exquisite. So I thank you so much. That in addition to the frequencies in and of themselves were just super beautiful and a gift. So I thank you. And on a logistical note, if this is vibrating, literally, if this is just vibrating with you and it sounds super cool and you want to learn more about it and get all of your questions answered, or anything else, do get back to the person who invited you specifically to this Zoom, and they can help you with anything that you need beyond this.
Yeah, thank you everybody for being here.
Yeah.
That's
All right.
good.
Reach
Thank you.
out if you need anything further. And we thank you so much. And thank you for being a great co-host, Chrissy. Thanks for
Yes, thank you,
being on the
Chrissy.
scene. All right. Have a great night, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, bye, bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, Veronica was on. Hi, Veronica.
We're like, we're not going.
I know.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you. I'm going to stop.